This video is about using ser or estar, and why, to describe how someone is or how someone feels. So both of these verbs mean to be, but they are used in different contexts. Remember, ser is green and estar is orange in these videos. A couple terms you should know. Verb, it's the action word in the sentence. It's what the person or thing, what the subject is doing. An irregular verb is a verb that doesn't follow normal rules. An oi verb is a verb that in the o form, instead of ending in an o, ends oi. So both of these are oi verbs, you can see, and they're also both irregulars. And the term subject pronoun, remember, it's the word that replaces the subject, the person. All right, a quick note that just because you see or hear the word am, are, is, something like that, it does not mean you automatically take ser or estar and just plug it in there. Here are a couple examples of when not to use ser or estar. So it is sunny. Remember that, like, weather things like hot, cold, sunny, things like that, it's actually the verb, let me get a different marker. It's actually the verb hacer. So hace sol. It's not the verb ser or estar. You are 14 years old. Sounds like it's going to be ser or estar, especially since you're describing a person, but this is actually using the verb tener. Tienes 14 años. Not the verb ser or estar. I am going to. I see this happen all the time. People will write yo soy voy or yo estoy ir. If you're going to do something, you don't have estar or ser in the sentence at all. You existing is not the action. The action is that you are going to do something. So the verb you conjugate is the verb ir, not ser, not estar. So I am going to would not be yo soy ir or yo soy voy. It'd be yo voy a. I am going to, and then whatever it is. And here's another one. There is or there are. I see a lot of people using son or están for this, but there are, there is a verb haber in conjugative form I. Alright, so please pause this and complete these charts. You have both of them in previous notes. Alright, we're going to start talking about ser. You should already have these notes. If you don't, you need to go back to the old video. So D, description. That is somebody's physical description. O, occupation, so their job. C, characteristics. This is their personality traits right there. T, time. Remember, just because it says it is does not always mean it's going to be es la. So they're es la or son las, depending on the time. O, origin or nationality. R, relationships, so how someone is related to you or what relationship they have with you. And E, where events take place. So that's the only location that's not estar. In estar, we have health, emotion, location, and progressive. And generally, you can think of ser as the permanent verb, as in these things never change, or at least they don't change from day to day. And estar is a temporary verb, meaning things do change from day to day. But obviously you can see there are exceptions because as far as permanent things, time changes all the time, but it's a use of ser. Another good example of estar is usually temporary, except for locations. Locations are always estar, unless it's where an event takes place. So you can think of this generally, but it's not always permanent or always temporary 100% of the time. Also, sometimes you are allowed to interpret which verb to use, or the verb that you use changes the context of the meaning. For example, if you're saying she is pretty, now she's always pretty, that is going to be a characteristic, a description. So you'd say ella es bonita, or linda, or guapa. But if you're complimenting her and saying, you look really pretty today, Now that's not to say that she's never been pretty before, but the word today indicates that it's different from normal. And so that instead of ser is going to be a temporary thing, estar. So ella está bonita hoy. So sometimes there's a little wiggle room for which verb you should choose, but almost always it's very clear which one for the situation. All right, here I want you to pause in a moment. You need to write why you use ser or estar, and these ones fill in the blank, these ones translate. All right, going to fill these in together. Remember, green is ser, orange is estar. So, I am triste, sad. I am sad. Sad is a type of emotion, so that's going to be estar. So I'm going to write an E for emotion. And I am, the yo form of estar is estoy. Actually, yeah, sad. Emotion. All right, next one. The girls or they are students. Technically, a student is your occupation or your job right now. And so that is going to be ser, occupation. And they are the ellas form of ser, son. You are a kind person. So I am describing you. There's no word in there to indicate that you're not usually, and you're saying today you're a kind person. So that's going to be a permanent characteristic. That's going to be ser. So you are, tú eres. All right, we are sick. Sick is a health situation. So we always provide the subject pronoun when possible. It's just good that I know that you know why you're conjugating it. We are, nosotros, somos, and then sick, enfermo. Remember though that since we are plural, enfermo needs to be plural. That should read os. It's 7:14. That is a time. So we're not going to write es la though because it's more than 1 hour. So son las 7:14. 14. And I didn't specify AM or PM, so you just leave it like that. Y'all are from the United States. That is your origin, nationality. So that is going to be ser. So let's see here. Y'all. Vosotros sois de los... I'm going to abbreviate. Estados Unidos. You should write out Estados Unidos, but this is also the way to abbreviate it. Please pause to copy these down. All right, after you've written these in English, obviously you need to translate it, putting in the correct form of ser or estar. You also, thank you for listening to the directions, need to give me your use of ser or your use of estar. So after you write it out in Spanish, give me one of the Dr. Eve or HELP, which use of estar.